Hey, Pashi.
Hey, Sufi.
How are you?
I'm good.
How's your
good.
summer going?
It's good. I mean, we had that trip to Amsterdam, which was just great.
Fantastic.
Then I had that trip to Las Vegas, and now I've just got like 6 weeks in LA before the next thing happens. And the weather's been great. We've been having these nice gray mornings that I'm a big fan of. And I'm just enjoying being home.
We did that special live episode in Amsterdam, and I'm really glad everybody had a chance to finally see it.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad got a chance to see it as well.
Oh, yeah. Dad texted us on the family text thread, and he said, watched that podcast. It's the first time we've watched on video. And that was the end of the comment. And then I don't know if it was the mistake.
Terrible mistake. I almost side-texted you to say, what are you thinking?
And you want to tell everyone what I texted?
You said, what did you think?
Yeah.
Which is a little bit like Pandora saying, I wonder what's in this little box. Here's the thing. I want to just start with the positives.
Sure.
And you know what? I'm going to end with the positives because it's not my place to give us notes via Dad on our own podcast. He thought he and Mom were the best.
He said, should I just read what he wrote?
Well, I don't want any shade to get thrown on our other guests.
Okay, well, okay then.
Yeah, he thought they were the best. But I did echo back to Mom and Dad. Not echo back, but I did say, I've never, in over 1,600 episodes of Late Night, not once has one of the guests come over and told me what they thought of the other guests.
Yeah.
Again, these are friends of theirs.
Yeah, but he's reviewing it as a consumer, as a
Dad's very good at stepping out of. He can wear two hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't usually wear hats. He says if you wear hats, you'll go bald. So he likes to wear a visor when he golfs. And he has a very lovely head of hair,
He does have a good head of hair. I will say, I long was sort of waiting, sitting in wait of Dad going bald. So I could say, I guess your hat plan didn't work. But he's got a nice head of hair.
He's got lots of plans and theories. Anytime he's sick, he just eats white food. Yeah. That's his. And no doctor has ever said that, but.
No, it's like toast. Rice is a big thing he thinks you should eat.
I feel like potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any doctor's ever said that for anything.
Yeah.
I would say in general, a doctor would say, you've got to cut out white foods.
Yeah.
Dad used to always, every time I would try to stay home, which was effective. I stayed home from school all the time.
Right, just being like, I got a quiz or something. Or
but I'd be like, I got a sore throat. And he would say, come downstairs, you have to have some tea and toast and you'll feel better. But I had a great game plan, which is he, had such a long commute to Boston that I would he would have to leave before I would have to leave to go to actual school.
Right.
And so I just knew if I could run out the clock and he had to get in the car, then I would just turn to Mom and I'd be like, the tea and toast isn't taken.
Didn't work.
I gave it the best effort I could, but it's a no-go.
Yeah, and she was very sympathetic to any discomfort we were experiencing.
My mom is I believe the only teacher who ever retired in New Hampshire that had no holdover sick days.
She took them all.
She took them all. They were like, we can't believe it. We thought the accounting was wrong, but it turns out she thought she did not think those were to be saved for a medical crisis. She believed those were hers to do with as she pleased. And one of the things she pleased to do was stay home with her children.
Yeah. Quick note about the songs on the pod.
Oh, what is it?
I mentioned in an intro, I feel like I was maybe a little bit grumpy, but I was like, I record these things and I put them on video and 300 people watch them, which I'm thankful to those 300 people for watching them. If they weren't doing it, then I would definitely not be doing it anymore. But then the numbers upticked pretty significantly because people were have said in the comments, we didn't know these were here.
Yeah. That's good. Sometimes it's, I think ultimately you were not at fault for telling people it was there. We just preferred if you'd be a little bit less grumpy about it.
Yeah.
And I think
I could be less grumpy about a lot of things.
I think so. That's some feedback you could take with you.
Yeah.
Sort of anywhere you go.
Yeah.
I hosted a charity function this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel as though this shows a lot of growth for me.
Just doing anything for charity?
No, I feel like I've been there for a while, and also I don't appreciate the way you said that. But the kids were there, and Addie, again, couldn't be cuter, kept coming up on stage. First time, so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Second, third, fourth time, diminishing returns. Not her fault.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, what am I going to do about it? You just got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know it's not the best, but it's better than me sort of being unhappy on stage. We're out here for a good cause.
Yeah, you didn't like snap at Alexi to be like, get her.
I did.
Her off the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
That was all my inside voice. And then, but then, like the fifth time she came up, I had just said one of the auction items was, hey, there's going to be this special event every Sunday in August. And, if you win, you get to go to the event. You have preferred seating at the event. And it had been an auction item that my mother-in-law had told me about only an hour earlier. And so I finished the whole intro, and then Addie comes up. And again, it's like the fifth time she's coming up. And so, and then she comes over to whisper in my ear. Now, I should say 100% of the time she's whispered in my ear up to this moment, she has said poop.
Oh, yeah. Well, we FaceTimed the other day, and she...
Yeah, that's like, she just likes to whisper poop to people. I'm hopeful she'll outgrow it, but, who knows? Be a bummer if she didn't.
Yeah.
But she comes up and she whispers in my ear. Like, it was crazy. Again, imagine all you've ever heard is poop from a, not even 4-year-old. And this time they come up and goes, the event has moved to Sundays. No, she goes, the event has moved to Monday. And I'm like, what? And she calls my mother-in-law Jojo. She goes, Jojo wanted me to tell you the event is now Monday. And it was like, literally, I couldn't believe it. It was like she was like a stage manager at the Oscars. So now I'm a little mad, Posh.
Yeah.
Now there's an auctioneer on stage as well. But I'm like, what? So I get up and I walk all the way down to my mother-in-law. I'm like, the auction item you told me about an hour ago is different than what you told me? She's like, yes. And I go, and you sent Addie to tell me? She's like, yeah. But I get the thing, I'm now as I'm retelling the story, like the takeaway was just Addie crushed it.
Yeah.
Just did what she was supposed to do. I was very, very proud of her. Because I know, like, the fact that she wanted to whisper poop, but she realized I have something else to tell him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time she whispers to you, pretty high odds.
Yeah.
It's got to be poop.
Yeah. Riz Ahmed is our guest today.
Love this dude.
Fantastic actor. There's so many different things you could know him from. He was on Girls. He was in Rogue One. Sound of Metal. Oscar nominated. 3 Lions? Is it 3 Lions?
4. I believe it's 4.
It's 4 lions, right?
Yeah.
Famously 4 lions on the English crest.
Yeah.
And also a delightful conversation with this fantastic actor.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add, Posh? You ready to get into it?
I think we get into it.
Let's get into it. People got stuff to do. Let's hear somebody else talk for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family chips with the Meyers brothers. Family chips with the Meyers brothers. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up, man? I'm excited to talk with you guys.
I love it. Longtime fan, first time convo for me with you.
Yes.
But, yeah.
We sometimes do this thing with guests where before you jump on, we basically realize you've been in 7 things we kind of forgot we loved. Like, you're so good at you're also one of those actors you're so good that I sometimes think, wait, did Riz lose his hearing? And then I'm like, no, that was Sound of Metal.
Man.
He just convincingly lost his hearing on camera.
Oh, man. Well, listen, it's my goal above all else to be forgotten in movies. So I'm glad you guys have,
Not forgotten. Not
this
forgotten.
guy
Not forgotten. You just sometimes you're like, wait, because I guess, because 4 Lions, probably the first time we had seen you, I'm trying to think. You know,
Right,
that's
right.
and so you sometimes forget, like, oh,
Yeah, that was back in the day. It's weird because that movie, I mean, that's such a kind of cult classic in the UK, but that's because the humor is so British. So it's a movie
Yeah.
that weirdly doesn't travel that well, particularly in America. I remember when there was the first screening for it at Sundance Film Festival in America, all the Brits in the audience were like cackling. And
Yeah.
you stepped out and the Americans literally like, I was like, so what do you think? And they were like, devastating.
Oh.
it is.
I mean,
They were like-
we loved it.
they were like-
We grew up watching, Masterpiece Theater on PBS with our parents, and
Yeah.
then right after that was Monty Python. So from a very
Okay.
young age, we've been sort of mainlining that British humor.
British humor.
And
And
then
it's-
there was, I mean,
Yes.
and Chris Morris, who directed it, I remember when I started at SNL, there were people who had like the different region DVD player at their apartment just so they could watch like Brass Eye. Because you couldn't even watch it on, this is dating me when you're like, you had to have a
Man, can I
different
tell
DVD.
You could almost not even watch it in the UK because they got banned.
Yeah.
They got banned from TV. They got pulled off the air when they did the day-to-day. So it was like such an amazing group of people. It was like Steve Coogan, Chris Morris, Armando Iannucci, Patrick Marber, and they all kind of cut their teeth on this extremely intensely bizarre, provocative and dark comedy that we probably can't even talk about on this podcast, right?
yeah.
Or it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we
you'll
can,
lose all
but
your
we'll-
advertisers if we do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you grew up in a suburb of London?
That's right. Yeah, I grew up
Okay.
in Northwest London in Wembley. I think for American listeners, a good kind of analog for that is kind of like Jackson Heights in New York, maybe
Got
in
it.
Queens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, super diverse, immigrant neighborhood, real kind of mix of people. And obviously, if you're a soccer fan, famous from the stadium, which we
Yeah.
could hear from, when we'd be playing soccer in the park, as kids, we could always hear the fans in Wembley if there was a cup final on.
And what
Which was a
was
vibe.
the local team for you in Northwest London?
I mean, there's so many London teams.
Yeah.
But I guess you could make an argument QPR because it's
Yeah.
Northwest London, or Arsenal because it's North London, or Chelsea because it's West London. I've got to be honest though, I'm just a troll who doesn't really support anyone,
Great.
but will pick the side that whoever I'm talking to will probably hate the most.
Oh, good.
And just whoever they've just lost to, that kind of thing.
That's who you support.
Yeah.
That's
very,
me.
that's very nice that you admit
Wasn't
that. Because
what
that's
does it
not a
say
great
about me?
quality, Riz. That's not a great
It's a
quality.
really bad sign about who I am as a man.
So one sibling, is that right?
No, I've got two actually.
Okay.
Yeah, older brother and an older sister. So I'm the youngest.
Gotcha.
So not too far apart. It's like 5 years between me and my sister, almost 3 years between me and my brother. But a kind of interesting thing happens, I think, in a lot of families, and I think particularly kind of children of immigrants, where there's certain terrain that your parents maybe aren't able to navigate as fluidly. And so in a weird way, your siblings kind of become your parents
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in a way as well. There's certain stuff you can only take to them.
Yeah.
There's just the kind of gap in experience and frames of reference is just so big that kind of happens. So yeah, they're siblings and they're quite close to me in age, but at different points in my life, they have been like parents to me, which is, disturbed them massively, but was great for me.
Did they embrace it? Do you feel like they appreciated they were going to be better counsel for you than your parents would?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah, they were. I think it was. No, look. I mean, in all seriousness, I think that this probably happens with a lot of siblings. These
Yeah.
dynamics are so. They're so much more complex. I mean, I feel like in therapy we talk a lot about how your parents shaped you, but actually siblings shape you massively,
Yeah.
don't they? Because they have that. They're kind of your closest friends and your worst enemies and your parents all at the same time. And they're there the whole time.
Well, also birth order. I've got 3, and it's realizing how much birth order will play a role in who they are as people is
Wow.
fascinating to me.
Yeah.
and-
How do you think it's shaped you?
I mean, I went first, and I'm the oldest, and I think I'm well rounded, and whereas Josh is the younger one, and he's just he can't do anything.
I saw mistakes not to be made, not to be
Yeah,
repeated.
no, actually, Josh, I weirdly like. There's a lot of times where I feel like Josh is strangely the older brother, even though I've got 2 years on him. So we might not be the best example. We might not be the
Yeah, but 2 years kind of becomes nothing.
2 years.
By the
nothing.
time we get to
Yeah.
our age, right? When you're
Yeah.
like 9 and 7, it's like an eternity. But
Yeah.
at this point, you guys in your mid 60s now, it means nothing. It really, it's kind of, it could be any which way.
I have to put my my filter, my softening
don't get it.
filter on, if that's what you think, Riz.
How do you blur your foreground on Zoom? That's what I want to know. I want to click that button.
I want you to see the painting on the wall, but I don't want you to see me at all. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. Support for family trips comes from Airbnb. Hey, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi.
I can't say enough about the trip we just took to Amsterdam, and I can't say enough about just having drawer space.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to say more about this?
I really do.
When you have a home and you are an Airbnb host, you're basically giving over your home to people who are going to stay there, and your home usually has drawers that are adequate for people who are traveling, even people who are traveling with 2 suitcases full of gear. And that was the most lovely thing. You just show up, you unpack. Sometimes I feel like when you have limited space, you're living out of your suitcase for a few days and the room just feels a little cluttered, and then your mind gets cluttered. You know, Pashi, how my mind gets cluttered.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was neat, everything was tidy, and I feel like it was just part of the wonderful experience of being in somebody's home.
Yeah. Yeah. I had friends who were out there at the same time as us, and they were staying on a houseboat. There's not a houseboat hotel, but
No.
with an Airbnb, you can get yourself a houseboat. Experience the city the way Dutch people who are super lucky experience it.
Support comes from Naked Wines. Hey, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi.
Have you ever walked into a wine store and just said, you know what, I'm out. I'm too confused. I don't like it.
Yeah, they can be intimidating.
It's too much wine. I know this is a weird thing to say about a wine store. There's too much wine in there.
Yeah, I also don't like if you just want to browse and then all of a sudden there's some wine snob on your shoulder.
I once walked into a store in LA in Beverly Hills. I was about to host the Golden Globes and they snootied me right out of there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I wasn't dressed the way people usually dress when they walk in there.
Yeah, that tracks.
That tracks with what you know about me and the way I dress.
Yep.
Well, this is very exciting. With Naked Wines, you can use our code TRIPS for the code and password at nakedwines.com and get 6 bottles for just $39.99 delivered straight to your door.
Yeah. Naked brings you amazing wine straight from the winery at up to 60% less than what you would pay in the store. By cutting out extra costs like middlemen markups, winemakers can pass those savings on to you without skimping on quality. It's also nice, I feel like it's good to have wine on hand for when you're going to go over to a friend's house and you're running a little late maybe. Do you want to stop at the store and grab a bottle of wine, or do you just want to have some on hand?
And Josh, just to get ahead of what I'm sure will be the question from most of our listeners, do you have to be naked while you drink the wine?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
But, you know me, I'm a bath guy, so it doesn't hurt to be in the tub.
In the tub, glass of cab.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/trips. Click Enter Voucher and put in our code TRIPS for both the code and password for 6 bottles of wine. Just $39.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off your first 6 bottles at nakedwines.com/trips and use the code and password TRIPS for 6 bottles of wine for $39.99. $100, Pashi.
Woo!
Here we go.
When you were very young, you spoke Urdu at home and you learned English at school?
That's right.
So did your
Yeah, that's
siblings
right.
speak English before you did?
It's a highly frustrating situation, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're getting straight to the triggers.
Wow.
Yeah, we like
I mean, they were older.
I'm sorry.
Why
Riz,
am I-
you just
why
told
do
us
I-
we looked like we were 60 years old. We were going to wait another 10 minutes for the triggers.
The gloves are off. Gloves are off. Yeah. So my wow, super Freudian. I was about to say my parents obviously went to school before me. But what I meant to say was my siblings obviously went to school before me because they were slightly older. So they would come home and be speaking in English. And I just remember just running around the house going, Ghar mein Urdu, which means you have to speak Urdu in the home, which they didn't. But it's kind of, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm very pleased and very lucky that my parents just spoke to us in Urdu. I don't think it was a conscious choice. It was just the most natural thing for them to speak in. And actually so many of my formative kind of TV shows and sketch comedy shows in particular that I'd watch were all VHS tapes that had been brought back by someone from Pakistan.
Wow.
So all those early years, I'd just be like curled up on the sofa with my mum all winter, just watching the Pakistani version of SNL.
Yeah.
And that was that a very popular show?
It was a show called 50-50.
Okay.
And I'm pretty confident that both obviously the language, but also all the humor would be lost in translation.
Right.
So don't watch it. But it's it was just kind of it was what was really cool about it in a way, which is it was aimed at adults. But I was just kind of watching it as a kid.
Right.
Me and Mama at home, we were just very close. We were kind of like best friends. I still remember some of that humor to this day. I just feel like I feel like everyone saw it because it was such a massive part of my upbringing. Like, you remember that thing with the like? No one's seen this. No British Pakistanis of my generation have seen this. It's a very specific, like early 80s VHS tapes.
It's very funny because I've talked to, I've had a lot of, immigrants that I've interviewed over the years, and so many of them have said, like, the leap for them wasn't school, but it was watching English language television. And it's interesting that your mom, in a way, was just like, I'm going to help you develop a very adult Pakistani sense of humor. Like, I'm not going to help you.
This is going to set you up for a really easy transition into school. You're not going to speak English. All your jokes are going to be musical. They're going to be musical comedy. So there is that. When I really think about it, I don't know when we actually started watching English TV, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the biggest soap operas, particularly throughout the 80s and 90s in the UK, were Australian.
Yeah.
We all just watched Home and Away and Neighbours.
Yeah.
And so that was... And the reason for that is because, in Britain, we have this tradition of being miserable.
Right.
And so when no one had a kind of escapist, aspirational soap opera to turn to the way you guys did in America, you had Dallas. So we'd watch Dallas, and then for our hit of like sunshine and surfing, we'd watch Neighbours and Home and Away. So I didn't really start watching British TV for a very long time.
When did do you remember EastEnders starting? Like, because
I remember it, but we just never watched it in my house.
Yeah.
The whole family would sit down and tune into Neighbours and Home and Away. And then when anyone would kiss, the protocol is everyone had to put their hands over their eyes for a second. And whoever was sat closest to my mum or dad would get a whack for like, how dare you? Like, we don't misbehaving. Not a big whack. Just like, what? What do you mean? So you'd kind of strategically pass the remote to your sibling as the kissing scene's about to start. So they got the blame for what the screenwriters had decided would happen.
Did you continue to talk Urdu at home with your family? Did that switch?
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess once you start going to school, it's just extra hassle and math or whatever to do in your head. So yeah, definitely went for many, many years they'd speak to me in Urdu, I'd respond in English. Now we kind of speak in both. But I think in a way, like, one of the cool things about, this job is you get to learn and sometimes relearn things. So I did a movie with Mira Nair in 2011 called The Reluctant Fundamentalist. And in it, I had to play someone from Pakistan, which is very different to being like British Asian,
Yeah.
And so I had to really get my Urdu up for that. And, poetry and news and, really trying to kind of pass myself off as someone who's a native speaker, fluent speaker, that doesn't have an accent and any of that kind of stuff. So I really kind of reconnected to my Urdu speaking back then. Just like, 14, 13 years ago or something. And so now I really enjoy speaking to them in Urdu. I really enjoy being able to switch in that way. And, now I have a kid myself, is something that I'm really eager to try and pass on, but I'm pretty sure I'll fail because it just doesn't quite come totally naturally to me. I dream in English. It's, it's my first language is English now. So
were your parents excited about the fact that all of a sudden late in life you were getting better at it?
I think they were, yeah. They were less excited than I'd hoped they'd be.
That's always the way. That's always
You know
the
what I mean?
parents.
I thought maybe I'd get some kind of pat on the back for this.
No.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, what's the big deal? I've been doing that my whole life.
Were they excited about your path as an actor? I mean, I know you went to a university. You'd already made that choice. Was
Yeah.
that something they supported?
It was something they supported, but I think they had a very sane, rational response that most parents of any background would have when their kid says, I want to be an actor, which is, please God, don't do this.
Right.
It's such a lottery, and you guys know this. It's like there's so many incredibly talented people that don't get the break. There's so much luck involved. I really, and actually I'm joking a little bit because they didn't say, please God, don't do this. They didn't say that at all. I should be clear about that. They were like, all right, look, if you love this, good luck. We're here. Just make sure you have a backup plan, and good luck. Basically,
Did you have? And you probably didn't have the heart to tell him that rapping was your backup plan, right?
This podcast is going to be the first time they realize that. So thanks for outing me, man. This is going to be solo therapy, not family therapy.
If it turns out they were a huge fan of Riz MC, they just had never made the connection.
This guy, be more like this guy. This guy's cool. But the funny thing is like, yeah, my parents was super cautiously supportive, I'd say. And, obviously very proud, when things turned out okay. But the thing that's really funny is I remember when I did my first kind of, in about like 2013, I did this film called Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the first, that and Reluctant Fundamentalist was like, the first movies I was doing in America. And I was like, wow, like these are people I've watched their movies. And now I'm in a film with Kate Hudson and Jake Gyllenhaal and, really admired these people. These are people who my dad recognizes, which is, that's a shift, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. You did a British indie film. I don't care. I'm watching 50-50. That's like one thing. And then it's like, okay, yeah, that guy seems familiar. I've seen him in XYZ. And I remember when I came back from Toronto or some film festival and I was like, yeah, it's cool. We had a film at this festival. Da-da-da-da-da. I remember going up into my childhood bedroom and kind of having a moment and going like, man, I remember being in here thinking, wonder if I can make it work as an actor. And this is kind of emotional and who knows what will happen from here on in, but this is a great moment for me, just personally, to go and done this film and come back. And my dad comes in and smiles and looks at me. And I remember thinking, he's having the exact same thought right now. This is going to be a rare moment of emotional connection across culture and generations. And I was sat on the edge of my bed and he came and sat down next to me. And he looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder. And I was going to tear up at this point. That's all it takes, right? And then he said, it's not too late to become a banker. It's just like, I was like, what? He was like, you've done it now. You did a movie. You went to America. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do now? So I think that kind of cautiously support, that backup plan thing is still very much alive and kicking.
That's really funny. I went home. I had our parents, our mom sort of keeps our bedrooms shrines to us. And I went back recently, and on the bookshelf is a book they bought, like the 25th anniversary of SNL. They bought me that book for like a Christmas present. And I remember I was like holding it and my mom was like, oh, do you want to bring that home with you? And I'm like, oh, no, I don't need to bring it home with me. She goes, okay, because I think we might throw all this stuff away. I was like, oh, I kind of like that it was here. She's like, oh, I was like, this is a nice memory. She's like, oh, really? Because we thought it was garbage. By the way, I just because you mentioned him, Jake Gyllenhaal gave my son a haircut.
He does that. Doesn't he do that? It's a weird thing he does to everyone.
He buzzed my son's hair. So
wow, how cute your kid is. Why did he do that? Was this something you asked him to do? Or was
no, it's more
okay,
my son.
Thank
My
God.
son ran into Jake Gyllenhaal and said, I want a haircut like him. And then Jake, to his credit, said, I'll give it to you. And he was like, great.
Yeah.
And
this
then,
haircut takes zero skill to give.
Zero still.
Yeah. Hey,
And then I
Josh,
said,
it's the
I
thought that
wasn't,
counts. Come on.
I should say I wasn't there. I was not there when it happened. And my wife was with Axel. And then afterwards, I said to Jake, I go, thanks so much for doing that. He goes, I'll never forget what he said when I finished. He looked at me and said, thanks, John.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors.
Support comes from Uplift Desk. Hey, Baji.
Hey, Sufi.
I went to your apartment. Got a big old Uplift desk.
I do. I love it. I love it so much. And you know, I showed it off to our friend Jill the other day, and she's like, "Why do you stand on this like little like rocker board?"
Yeah.
And it's so I stay active because when you're sitting at a desk all day, you're just sitting. You're so, sedentary.
Yeah. I'm sitting most of the day, I will be honest.
Yeah. And you just feel better. You're not like insanely active, but you're more active. You got your little leg muscles twitching, and I just don't get as tired. I feel like I can work for longer, and it's great. I really love it.
Your little Pashi's little noodle legs are just going back and forth.
Yeah, it's a beautiful desk. Like, that's something that I kind of can't get over.
Yeah.
It's big. It has changed the room entirely.
Also, it's customizable. There's over 200,000 desk combinations to match your space, style, and workflow. Your workday doesn't have to leave you feeling worn out. Go to upliftdesk.com/trips and use our code TRIPS to get 4 free accessories, free same-day shipping, free returns, and an industry-leading 15-year warranty that covers your entire desk, plus an extra discount off your entire order. That's upliftdesk.com/trips for this exclusive offer. It's only available through our link. Support comes from Blue Land. Hey, Pashi.
Yeah, Sufi?
You know what I don't care for?
What's that?
Microplastics.
Oh, man, you rail on microplastics.
I might even like them less than I like macroplastics.
Yeah, which you're also not a fan of.
But here's the thing, if you're using detergent pods, your clean might not be as clean as you think. 90% of parents are concerned about microplastics in cleaning products. The other 10% are just saying, go nuts.
Yeah, they're not great parents.
You've seen those parents, Riz, you know what I'm talking about, the playground, causing trouble.
Yeah.
Here's
they
the thing.
regret that they're parents.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, you can see in their dead eyes, they regret that they're parents. But if your eyes are full of light with love for your children and you're worried about microplastics, you can soothe your anxiety. And this is the number one thing I've done around the house to limit my microplastic intake. I've made the switch, Pashi, to Blue Land across all the cleaning products around my house. Their products meet the highest standard of clean. They're effective, yet gentle. Oh, I love gentle, Pashi.
Yeah.
On both my family and planet, Blue Land was also named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent, tablets, Blue Land's formulas are 100% microplastic free, made with certified clean ingredients, free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals that are safe to use around my family, my pets, my plants. I love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets my house clean. Pasha, you use Blue Land. What do you prefer?
I use it sort of house-wide as well on everything. I like the dishwasher tablets. I just like that they're not these sort of like little plastic pods that are clearly full of chemicals and sort of weird liquid goo. These are just sort of a nice, tight, compressed tablet. No extra water, which means no extra money for shipping. I got water, Suf.
You got water,
and
you like to keep it tight.
And I
good
do.
news. Blue Land has a special offer for our listeners right now. Get 15% off your first order going to blueland.com/trips. You won't want to miss this. Blueland.com/trips for 50% off. That's blueland.com/trips to get 15% off.
Here we go.
Did you guys, did you ever go back, was Pakistan a vacation or a place you guys went back to?
No, I've been there like a couple of times. I went when I was 2 to get circumcised. Just to kind of make a party out of it. Obviously, everyone's celebrating apart from you. Actually, my earliest memory. Then I went back when I was like 15 and then 18. The 18 was a fun trip. That was kind of nuts. And then after that, it was more for work. So I did a movie When I was like 23, I went there. Then I went back in 2018. So it's kind of like, twice that I can consciously remember as family trips. So I've never thought of it as home. Obviously.
Yeah. Do you feel like your parents felt a pull to go back, or did they just sort of move on?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think they always had, they had always planned to go back. And I think a lot of immigrants have this, right? They go, look, we're going to come here for a minute. We're going to stack. We're going to, save up some money, and then we're going to go home. Like, why would we stay here? And, one thing leads to another. You kind of develop ties to a place. A military coup takes place in your country of origin. You guys can relate as Americans. And what starts, you start thinking, actually, maybe I won't go back. So yeah, it kind of, life takes its own course in its own way. But now it's like, I sometimes say, hey, do you want to head back? They're like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm chilling. They've lived here for like 50 of their 70 years at this point, so.
What did what was a trip you guys would do as a family? Would you ever take them?
Family trips were not a massive part of growing up, if I have to be honest. The trip that I thought we'd talk about is something that I did much more recently as an adult, actually. But I can talk about like childhood family trips as well.
Please.
We can touch on a bunch of trips. Why not? I remember going to Disneyland when I was 6. And I remember just spending the whole time waiting in lines.
Yeah.
For things. That's my main memory.
That's so funny because
Disney World, I think it was in Florida.
Yeah.
Josh and I brought my oldest to an amusement park recently, and I kind of thought, I bet for kids, because as an adult, I'm certainly aware of the lines, and I'm like, maybe it'll be worth it for a kid. Like the rides are all you remember. So it's fascinating to me that all these years later, you're like, no, the lines.
I feel like in the gap, though, from when we were kids, Seth and I, well before you, Riz, obviously.
But being in our
now,
60s, being in our mid to late 60s.
Yeah. But that amusement parks have figured out that lines need to be interesting and engaging. And I feel like back in the day, they were just sort of, you're going back and forth and there's not a lot of sort of decoration or atmosphere to them. And now, like, we were just at this park, and there is a lot of atmosphere to the waiting. And
what are they doing in lines now? I've completely missed out on this. What do they do to make lines interesting?
If you're at like a Harry Potter world, like I feel like as you go through the line, there's like just crazy screens with like Dumbledore is like, say, it's like really good three-dimensional stuff.
Wow.
Like where it's not just like sort of concrete and heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wow. One of the many things we missed out on in our childhood.
Yeah. They're just staring at the back of the guy in front of you. That was pretty much all you were doing.
But I remember there was that, kind of going to amusement parks in America, there being lots of lines. That was a big one. And then kind of like, 15, we went to Pakistan, and then 18. And the 18 years old one was quite fun.
What made it a fun trip? Was it that you were 18?
It was kind of nuts. Yeah. It was like, so it was just you're at that age, right? Well, one thing was the age. You can obviously enjoy things a bit more when you're 18. But the other big thing was that we all went, my whole extended family in the UK, all of my mum's side, 6 siblings, all their kids, grandparents who went. And so it was, such a unique experience, such a weird kind of moment. And, suddenly all these uncles that you'd kind of be hiding stuff from in the UK, they go back to Pakistan and their inner teenager comes out. So they're like, they're rolling, the stuff up for you to smoke on the roof. They're like, hey, yo. You're like, you've become a teenager. This is great. So there was that. And just kind of, enjoying the culture, the food in a different way. I actually had my first ever driving lessons there as well. I didn't like rush to start driving. I would just always be the guy riding shotgun with all my friends. But when I went to Pakistan, I was like, let me do it here and it's cheaper. was a really bad idea. To this day, I'm a terrible driver because of that. So, it was like the classic, not that Pakistani drivers are terrible. In most of the world, the crazier the roads are, the better the driver is. But I just, when you indicate.
Yeah, there's not a lot of driver's ed schools operating.
Beep the horn. Yeah, beep everything you shouldn't do. Beep the horn. Why have you got your seatbelt on? You won't be able to maneuver properly if you have to jump out the car. Make sure you cross your hands. You'll get more leverage. You can really yank it. So there was all that kind of stuff going on. So, yeah.
And were you in a city then?
We were in Karachi.
Yeah.
And, Karachi's a wild place. I remember we kind of found out that one of our cousins there was a gangster. And we should have kind of worked it out, because when we'd be sitting with him, just hanging out at the local cafe, there'd just always be a steady stream of people pulling up in a car, getting out, respectfully asking him for something, shaking his hand, kissing his hand, and then bouncing. We were like, friendly guy, honestly. This guy's popular. And then I remember we were in Pizza Hut, and him and his friends got a call and went, "Be right back." This is actually quite dark. And then left, and they came back. I'm pretty sure they had blood on their shirts. They came back. Yeah, we were like, I think something definitely going on.
I will say, I like to think that he's a gangster, but he was so excited that his whole family was visiting from England. He was like, I don't have time to go change into a new shirt.
These people, they're
not
here
so
here that often.
Family guy. That's the thing about gangsters.
He's
family guys. They prioritize family.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one. I remember my brother, because he was a little bit older, when that same cousin said, "Listen, we got to go buy some weed." And so I was like, "Okay, where are we going to do that?" So they pulled up outside a building, and turns out they pulled up outside the police station. So it's like, what? So my cousin takes my brother into the police station to buy weed.
Wow.
And you literally just go into the back office, and they're like, "This is how you know the stuff's good. They only confiscate the good stuff." And so it's got the seized by customs and excise stamp on it. And I didn't go on that little mini adventure. My brother was kind of protecting me from that as my semi-parent. But yeah, that was.
If I had ever in my life been at a party where somebody brought in a bag of weed there and said "seized" on it, it would have been the most exciting party of my life.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's great. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. Support comes from Visit Baltimore. Hi, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi.
Are you looking for your next summer getaway, and have you found it, and is it Baltimore?
Yep, and yep. Forget the usual big cities where you end up lost in a crowd. Instead, experience the charm of Baltimore. Known as Charm City, Baltimore seamlessly combines sports, history, art, food, and culture into a one-of-a-kind experience.
But there's a problem, Pashi. I like going places where you can see the water.
Oh, well then Baltimore's Inner Harbor has it all. Stunning waterfront views, iconic attractions, and incredible food.
I got another problem. I want to see fish, but I don't want to go into the harbor.
Well, kick off your adventure at the National Aquarium, home to 20,000 animals in immersive exhibits.
What if I love taxis, but I hate cars and roads?
Oh, well, the Baltimore Water Taxi, the oldest of its kind in the country, offers unlimited, all-day, hop-on, hop-off service to more than 30 destinations. You could try a guided kayak tour, hop on a Chessie Dragon paddleboat, or relax aboard a sightseeing cruise with live narration and skyline views.
Oh, well, let me guess. I got to bring my own food?
Oh, no. When it's time to eat, you can grab a table at Phillips Seafood or Rusty Scupper for fresh Maryland crab cakes and unforgettable harbor dining.
But I bet the views are only real little.
No, I would suggest that you finish with a photo at the Visit Baltimore sculpture and then take in panoramic views from Federal Hill Park.
I'm sold, Pashi. Baltimore's Inner Harbor is where the city meets the sea. This summer, make it Baltimore. Baltimore's just a quick drive or train ride from New York, Philly, and D.C. and a quick hop from BWI Airport, only 15 minutes from downtown. For more information and to plan your visit, including where to eat, what to see, and do, visit baltimore.org. That's baltimore.org. Baltimore's slogan is, "You won't get it till you get here." Go to baltimore.org to plan your vacation or getaway today. Support comes from Delete Me. Hi, Baji.
Hi, Suvi.
Right now, the headlines are chock full of data breaches and regulatory rollbacks, making us all vulnerable, but you can do something about it. Delete Me is here to make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online. Posh, I value your privacy. Do you think it's worth protecting?
Yeah. And I also this is one of those things where you know how there are things that you know you're not good at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a perfect example. I know
a lot of things you're not good at. Is that what you meant?
Well, this one is pretty high up the list. I wouldn't know how to go about sort of eliminating my data from the sites of data brokers online. If people have stolen my information, I don't know how to stop them. And I wouldn't even know where to start. But all you need to do is sign up with Delete Me, and they handle all of it for you. And it's not like they sort of do a quick cursory check and then it's done. You get these quarterly reports of all the work they've been doing in your stead, which just gives you real peace of mind.
Yeah, there was a recent Coinbase data breach. I was reading about it, how a hacker obtained names, addresses, social security numbers, and I was like, I don't know. That might be me. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because I buy all those Coinbases. First base is a penny, second base is a nickel. It's so funny. Teaches your kids about baseball and change. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/trips and use promo code TRIPS at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/trips and enter code TRIPS at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/trips, code TRIPS.
Here we go.
When you were in England, would you ever just go away for the weekend? Would you go because, it's so easy on trains, but...
I have to say that it wasn't a massive part of our growing up. Like, we did go on some trips, but the trip actually that I have in mind, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, which was something that kind of really hit different and was a real trip in every sense of the word, was this one. It was me, my wife, and my kid, right? So we just had a baby. And I'd said to them, listen, give me 3 months off before I start the movie. And they came back and said, great, definitely. A couple of weeks go by, I call back and say, so weird thing with like how the financing works, but the movie's going to fall apart unless we start in like 4 weeks. It's like, okay, how are we going to do this? So I actually gave the script to my wife. It's this movie that the one that I'm kind of promoting at the moment that's going to be out end of August. It's called Relay. So I showed her the script, and the test they had to pass was like, would she watch it? And she was like, this is so annoying because I really don't want you to work right now, but I would definitely watch this. And you should definitely do this. This is good. So,
and your wife, you trust your wife's taste. She has
impeccable taste.
Great.
Yeah. I go to her with every kind of creative question, and weirdly, she doesn't come to me for any.
And she's also a creative person. She's an author.
She's a novelist.
Yeah.
She's an author. She's a novelist. She's also been kind of asked to write some screenplays, which she's doing a bit more of.
Does she ever say to you, like, would you read this? And if you say no, she's like, then I'm onto something?
There is something like that. There is something like that happening. Because I remember early on in our relationship, she would show me what she'd written, and I would give her feedback, and she'd kind of nod and then smile and glaze over, and then she'd just change the subject. And I thought, great. What's happening here? So yeah, I think it's pretty clear what's happening. So anyway, we're like, okay, we're going to relocate from California to New York to do this movie. It's a New York movie. It's a New York thriller. So we're like, yeah, they want to do it on location. And so we pack up everything. We pack up our whole life. We've been living in California at this moment. So, your entire life, everything from plates and blenders to TVs to all your clothes, furniture, but also because we just had a kid, like, baby pics.
Yeah.
And like hard drives with photos on them, and like cameras full of photos and all that kind of stuff. Toys, gifts that had been given. And we fly over to New York, and all our stuff gets packed up into a van, and we get to New York and our stuff doesn't turn up. We're like, okay, there seems to be a bit of a delay. We check in, they go, yeah, it's a bit of a delay, but it should be there. A week goes by, 10 days go by. 2 weeks go by. I go, what's going on? They went, oh yeah, so the van that had all your stuff in it was targeted in a robbery, but they found the van in Mexico. And we're like, oh my God, thank God. He goes, yes, but it doesn't have any of your stuff in it.
Oh no.
Like, oh, okay. He said, there were 2 other families with all their stuff in there. We're like, right? And he said, all their stuff was still in it. So we were like, oh man, this is a weird, crazy situation. We're very confused that somebody specifically targeted us. They used, our real names on it. Not that anyone would care, but, some people out there are weird. And so
yes, of course,
they were looking through our stuff. So you have to get people security consultants to go scrolling through the dark web to see if photos of our kids being sold. It's a whole thing. Meanwhile, the movie that I'm there to shoot is all about someone who is trying to get precious things safely from A to B. Right? And I think stories have this mystical element to them. The thing that you're living ends up in the movie and vice versa. So I'm kind of living through a version of what I'm shooting in this film. And more precisely, actually, my wife is living through a version of what I'm shooting in this film, because my wife basically then becomes a private investigator, whilst also being a brand new mom. And she won't take no for an answer from the police. She starts calling up the moving company. The 2 drivers have gone missing. It turns out, one of them has kind of got a history of meth something. And the guy at the van company is like, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do. My wife basically patches together a straight up gumshoe private investigator robbery trail. She identifies in one of the photos that was sent that there's something on the floor of the driver's side is a receipt, and it's a receipt to a storage unit. She calls up the storage unit company, matches the ID and serial numbers to those lockers to realize it's one of only 3 storage units in the Sacramento area, right? She calls those guys up. She then, at every point, she's trying to basically getting people to bend the rules a little bit and say, hey, listen, come on, you're going to do this for me. They identify the people on CCTV cameras coming into the storage unit. In that unit, she speaks to the person on the reception desk. They go into the unit. They open it up. There's stolen stuff in there, but it's not ours.
Oh.
Right? And this literally 4-week investigation that my wife is doing is happening. It's I'm coming back from work and they're yeah, what did you shoot today? I goes, well, today, I had to try and find some hidden stuff in the storage unit to try and make sure that people, I was what did you do today, babe? She's like, right. So this is what I actually did. And so it was this kind of crazy experience. But to be honest, because my wife's a writer, the one thing that she really, really did not want to lose was her journals. She had journaling about becoming a mother and, those early months and that whole experience. And she was really distraught about that. And weirdly, it was when she finally just said, look, I surrender this. I let go. I light a candle, say a prayer and say, all right, I let go of that. And then we get an email on the second last day of shooting from this woman in Oregon. And she says, is this your journal? And my wife's got her email address in there. Says, how do you have this journal? This is the one thing out of everything that was stolen that we want to get back. She goes, well, my stuff was in a van that apparently got robbed, but our stuff didn't get robbed. But this journal ended up in one of my boxes of Nikes. We're just what is going on, man? And we got that journal back. And it was it was a trip, Yeah. It just really kind of blew our minds in terms of just the mysteries of the universe and how this stuff works. And also kind of reminded us in a way, we actually didn't, it was difficult losing stuff. There was insurance and the producers of the movies helped out and all of that stuff. But really the stuff you really care about is that it's baby pics and a journal, right? But that was a family trip that was I know on this podcast normally people talking about nearly dying on river rapids with their dad, but this was a different kind of trip because the journey itself kind of stayed with us, in the aftermath of it.
And if there's a moral, it's drive your own stuff, think.
What a strange, sort of racket of saying we're going to move your stuff.
It's so heartbreaking. I mean, in my life, that thrill of finding a receipt in a picture, like that, I feel like only happens in movies where there's a leap of logic that, and there's never a receipt facing up that's in a photo and then tracking it to a storage unit. I can't believe
she's an absolute G. But yeah, it's the kind of crazy thing about all of this is, when you went back and looked at this moving company, it was like, this company was founded like 3 months ago and it has 1-star review. Like, why did we use this place again?
It said on the website, we have 2 drivers, one of whom does not have a history of meth. And that should have made you suspicious. One of whom never touches the stuff.
Who reads the small print? Seth. Yeah, man.
Did you enjoy shooting in New York?
I actually kind of loved it. Yeah,
great.
I know. Yeah. It's very much a New York movie, and David Mackenzie, our director, he kind of is very much into, I guess, chaos. I'll just say it straight up. He's like a big chaos guy. Freedom is another way of saying it. So we did not try and control any of the pedestrians, any of the traffic as far as we could. So you just really feel the kind of buzz and the frenetic energy of the city in there. Sometimes there's problems. I remember Sam Worthington, who's also in the movie, it kind of ended up getting into it with like a couple of passers-by who did not realize a movie was happening. Like someone comes up to him and goes like, "Hey man, don't talk to her like that." She's like, Sam just starts going with it. Sam catches a wave and just decides to start surfing, and we're like, someone should break this up. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But our first day of shooting, we shot in Times Square.
Wow.
So it was just wild, It's just New York's got such an energy to it, and I think that comes across in a movie that's slightly kind of anything could happen kind of vibe.
Also, a quick shout out to the Phoenician scheme, which I loved.
Oh man, I'm glad.
Very fun time. Very fun time. A lot of Riz out there. We're very happy about that.
Oh, thank you. Wes Anderson. I mean, you big Wes Anderson guys?
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah.
No, I feel like when I saw Bottle Rocket, it was like around the same time as Reservoir Dogs, where you just realize, I'm going to see movies from these guys forever, and it's going to be the best feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of wild being on a set as a kind of massive fan myself. Both me and my wife are huge fans of Wes's, because it's really hard to concentrate because all I wanted to do was steal stuff. Right on set, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, you're in a scene and someone goes, right, you come in here, you pick up this pen, you sign this thing, you're like, cool, and you just look at the pen and go, oh my God. Look how well designed this pen is. Are you kidding me? Did Montblanc do a limited edition colorway on this for Wes? I have not seen this. There's just every bit of furniture, furnishing, props, costume. You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you probably felt like you were owed some stuff since you just got robbed.
Exactly. It's why I did the movie, Seth. It's why I did the movie. I was trying to get some cover, but it didn't work.
It's so funny. I've never thought to ask anybody. I mean, I always love talking to actors who do Wes Anderson because, it seems like it must require a slightly different kind of acting because I feel like everything becomes, it's so wonderfully set designed that as an actor, you're part of the set too. And it never occurred to me that how that stuff is real and it would be really fun to steal it.
It would be, but they don't let you.
They don't.
Yeah.
It's not, honestly, like each prop, each piece of costume, each item of furniture is archived, tracked. There's someone whose job it is because there's going to be a theme park at some point. At least I hope. And the lines there will be extremely entertaining.
The lines they say the lines at the Wes Anderson Park are better than the rides.
Better than anywhere else. So yeah, man. It was a lot of fun.
You got a young one, but does your child travel well? Is it too early to tell?
My child doesn't sleep.
Yeah, in general,
even on overnight. In general, that's changed now, thankfully. But on planes and all of that kind of stuff, it's what's your protocol?
I mean,
planes.
At this point, we just let it ride. I mean, there's not much to do.
Are you like ever a no screens person?
So we're very. I will say,
tell me about that.
We're no screens. with our kids, except we finally caved on planes. Where
Because they
it's
all
just
have
like,
their
you
own
know what?
screens. It's so hard to say, you have this
Also-
thing right in front of you and you can't
Yeah.
use it. And everyone else is using it.
Every other person on the plane gets it, but you don't. My wife has tried, like she brings like a full satchel full of like clays and, maze books and coloring. And by the time we're taxiing, they're like done with all of it. They're like, we're done. We finished every maze. We finished, we've colored in everything. And we're ready to go. And so it's just so hard, especially, when you go coast to coast and it's 6 hours. Like, it's so unfair to tell a kid, like, no, you're just going to read and think.
Yeah,
Just think,
it is unfair.
think.
And yet that is what I plan on continuing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with zero success, It's, I mean, right now, getting punched in the face by my kid is painful, but it doesn't totally knock me out. That will change soon.
Yeah.
And they're going to watch whatever they want, man.
Yeah, just out of full strength.
Exactly.
It is what a delight it has been to talk to you, Riz. Just thank you so much. We're both such huge fans.
Thank you, guys. I'm a massive fan of both of you guys. And
Also, I keep mentioning your work. I'll say one last thing as we're talking about screens. My two boys have been working their way through the Star Wars universe, and Rogue One, that's the one, man. That's the best one.
Oh, man, people say that. But I should really check out the other ones to compare. I should watch them at some point.
Nah.
Well, now that you got a kid,
Wait till you're a kid.
just wait until they're old enough to watch them, and go through them with a little buddy.
Also, you did better than most. Like, what was your Rogue One? Was Bodhi? Like, I feel like you had a cool name.
Bodhi Rook.
Yeah, Bodhi Rook.
yeah.
Come on,
Bodhi Rook. It's not a bad name, is it?
Yeah. I mean, there's some
you.
weird ones in the Star Wars universe. You
kinda
did
like
good.
It's kind of like a porn star name.
Yeah,
Bodhi Rook. It's got a swagger to it.
it really does. I mean, that kind of ruins it for me, but it really does. All right, Josh is going to ask you our speed round questions, Riz.
All right.
Thank you, man. All right, let's do it.
You can only pick one of these. Is your ideal vacation relaxing, adventurous, or educational?
It's changed. It would have been adventurous. Now, definitely relaxing.
Very good. What is your favorite means of transportation?
I think the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice train. Yeah.
Love, yeah. For me, it's the back of a van full of your stuff while a methed out guy drives to Mexico.
That was. I can't wait till you do that episode of Family Trip.
Yeah.
Someone's just gonna come on and go.
I was in the back of a van going to Sacramento, and there was a digital camera, and it was full of pictures of Riz Ahmed and his family.
Oh man.
If you could take a vacation with any family, alive or dead, real or fictional, other than your own family, what family would you like to take a vacation with?
Oh wow, this is a good one. Any family other than my own family, I think probably The Simpsons.
Great. Excellent.
Weird, random, but just watch that. I've watched that show probably more than anything else ever.
Yeah.
Probably will never clock those number of episodes.
It's fun because I love that show, but I'm never like, they seem like a fun hang.
No.
Something fun's gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
It'll be traumatic.
It'll be traumatic. Yeah.
If you had to be stranded on a desert island with one member of your family, who would it be?
Probably my wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have picked that for you as well, based on what
Yeah,
you've
because
told us.
I know that she can put up with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can handle it.
And you're from Wembley. Would you recommend Wembley as a vacation destination?
You know what? If you're trying to get some amazing, authentic Indian food, 100%.
Great.
Excellent.
Come through, man. Come through. I'll show you.
Very good.
Right.
And then Seth has our final questions.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
Yes.
Was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Incredible. I wish I'd kind of hiked down it. They do that thing now where you
Yeah.
can hike down and kind of camp out in there. I listened to the Gilroy's episode.
Yeah.
That sounded wild and crazy. And
I mean, I would do it with the
inadvisable.
Gilroys.
But
I
Yeah.
certainly would.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Annoyed they didn't invite me.
I know. Well,
Um,
next time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congrats on everything. It's like I said, it's so we're always fans to to see you. And it's really fun that you got a movie out now and another one coming.
Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. And yeah, see you in Wembley, yeah?
All right.
Absolutely. Relay is the movie,
Okay.
and it's out in August. Check it out, everybody. Thanks,
And Phoenician Scheme still in
Much
theaters
love.
right now.
Riz. Bye,
All
buddy.
right, bye, Riz. Thank you.
Bye.
Family trips with the Meyers brothers.